Men of Reddit, what is the best relationship advice can you give us women? Say what you mean. Don't dance around an issue. Don't make it a game. Be direct and just come out with it in an honest way. You could save yourself a lot of time, potential pain, or the escalation of an argument that wasn't even on the table. That's for both sexes. Make this the top comment. Communication is key. Don't think it will get better. It won't if you don't address it. Little compliments are really awesome. Also, talk about what you want and don't want. Please, this goes for men and women. Good communication makes things so much easier. Holding your relationship hostage in every argument means you're a poo person with no real argument. Oh yay? Then why are we even together? Apostrophe. If I'm so poopeth then just leave me. Apostrophe. I guess you don't care about our relationship then. Apostrophe. My husband used to say things like that at the very beginning of the relationship. I brought it up not during a dispute and found out it's because he thought I was out of his league and genuinely expected me to leave and didn't want to be blindsided. I told him to knock it off. I wasn't going anywhere, and 5 years later we're married and have a baby on the way. We're insanely happy. Never really get in tiffs, and I can honestly say we are each other's other half. But it didn't change how annoying it was to hear then why don't you just leave me? Question mark. Some of that can come from insecurities, but if it's constant it's more manipulative than anything. If you're so saying poop like this, talk about it. There might be more to it, but there might not. With my last GF I would spoon her and do the occasional boob grab of course. Every once in a while she would big spoon me and squeeze my man boob. It was funny, cute, and strangely made me feel loved. If you hit or berate your boyfriend/spouse, that's abusive. It doesn't matter what gender the abuser is, and even if it doesn't hurt physically it can really hurt mentally and emotionally. Yeah, I've been hit by a girlfriend years ago. It hurt pretty bad, and when I called it out it was girls can hit guys. I was young, naive and had low enough self-esteem that her attention was more valuable than my own self-respect. It's a good thing that relationship lasted 4 months. She was all kinds of awful. People change for their own reasons. Don't get into a relationship with someone hoping he will change. Unless he wants to, it won't happen. Remember that love is a choice, not a feeling. Someone who loves you is going to treat you in such a way that you feel loved. If you don't feel it, and he has no interest in doing things to make you feel loved, he doesn't love you. He might have the hots for you. Sure. That's not love. Probably my top advice for anyone in a relationship. Do not play relationship games. Just say what you want. Don't make the other person guess. Don't make them try to win you over. Don't play the silent game where they have to guess what they did wrong or guess how to fix things. And don't loyalty test them or whatever crap. If trust is lacking, tests won't fix them. Communication and trust will. If that doesn't work, tests certainly won't. Just say what you want. If the other person genuinely doesn't know and is trying, that's okay. Don't make it unnecessarily hard on them. I definitely agree that communication is important, but sometimes your partner just needs to suss things out too. Like if you're lying on the floor bleeding, maybe they should help you, even if you don't ask for it. That goes for emotional health as well. Here's what I'd say to my partner if he told me just tell me what you want. I know you're not a mind reader and I don't expect you to anticipate my every need. But sometimes I want to be taken care of without spelling out exactly what that means. I actually spend a good chunk of time and effort doing little things to make your life nicer. Remember last weekend when I picked up a 12-pack of your favorite beer? You're important to me. I pay attention to you and notice when maybe I can brighten your day a bit. I want to feel like you're doing the same thing for me. I know you love me, and I want you to show me that occasionally without me asking you to. Apostrophe. Simply wanting your partner to be a bit considerate, to do nice things for you sometimes, etc. Seems fair to me, but a lot of the women I've been with would get angry that you didn't do something when they never asked for it, but they're like, you should have known! Exclamation mark. Question mark. Exclamation mark. Question mark. If it's something obvious like your girlfriend is upset and feeling bad, and she tells you that, then it's just normal / natural to try to comfort her. But what if you're ordering takia to eat together and she says, just order whatever, I'm fine with it, and then when you get the food she's like, ugh, I ducking hate tacos, or something like that. At that point I think it's almost verging on abuse. Giving someone whiplash like that. Like if you're lying on the floor bleeding, maybe they should help you, even if you don't ask for it. With super obvious examples like this, I agree. The thing is, men have been loudly saying forever that it isn't obvious enough for them when these problems arise. If your girlfriend says, yeah, you can go to that party after work, I don't feel great, so I'm staying home, and then texts you once you're at the party, getting angry because you should have stayed home with me. You should have known that me not feeling well means you need to stay home. I just feel like men in general have been saying this for eons and nothing ever changes. Try to make it clear up front if you want him to find what's wrong with your outfit, or just give compliments when you ask how an outfit looks. The assumption is you just want a compliment, but if you actually want a second set of eyes in case you missed something, we need to know that. I've never really bothered with the compliment thing. What I do tend to do is if she has an outfit that doesn't look good, I go and find something that will. Is that shirt a bad color for her? I bet there's one that is a good color. Give me a minute or two. Those pants don't look good. I'll go find something lighter or darker to go with the top. Bad fit? I'll go find a size up / down. Taking an active role, at least for me, tends to be helpful in my relationship, and I suspect it would make the situation a lot easier for both parties in most relationships. Basically, instead of being bored waiting for your girl to pick outfits and try them on, keep an eye out for ones that might look nice or styles they might like. Make it something you're doing together, and it's a lot less of a slog. Nah man, that backfires on me real hard when I try that. It ends up being something she does like, or doesn't fit, or whatever. But I think it goes back to my initial point, which is that she needs to clearly communicate what she wants him to do before it comes up. Even men like to be pampered and made to feel sexy. How you do that depends on your man, but we absolutely love it when we receive it. Amen. I love being the little spoon. That doesn't mean I won't hit the ground running with a tactical 12 if the security of our house is broken. Longevity in a relationship is about compromises both ways. If the other one is the only one who always has to bend backwards, but you never do, you are not doing it right. When you are with your so put the %, phone down. Nothing gets to me more than having a set time to be together and her constantly checking TXTs, FB, Instagram when I'm with my phone is on silent and stays in my pocket so I can be focused and engaged with her. If you go into a relationship with a list of things he does wrong, but you want to fix in him, neither of you will be happy. People can make small, incremental adjustments and concessions, but most people don't make sweeping changes to their personality and habits for the sake of another person. You have every right to break up with a guy who makes you unhappy. He has every right to break up because living with a constant reminder of what he isn't doing right is miserable. Both of these things can be concurrently true about people who are in a relationship together. If we say something seemingly offensive out of nowhere, ask what we mean instead of assuming the absolute ducking worst thing that could be interpreted. Most character traits that a guy has aren't going away. People change throughout the course of a relationship, but fundamentally core behaviors and beliefs won't budge. If you see a habit or trend you have to put up with that bothers you, ask yourself if you can put up with it forever. Relationships will have sacrifices, but don't assume you're willing to sacrifice your happiness forever to tolerate something. And don't assume they'll sacrifice this for you. My mill told me this years ago, that in love or friendship, everyone has traits / quirks / habits that irk you about them, and traits of your own that are annoying to another person. So once you know a person well enough to identify those things, you need to decide if they are going to be / should be deal breakers, i.e. controlling or possessive behaviors, as well as the things that you or they just can't overlook, even if they aren't unhealthy or dysfunctional per se. If what you like and admire about the other is enough to accept the annoying parts of them too, and vice versa, then it's a relationship worth cultivating. Also, If you can't come up with any negatives, then either you are still in the honeymoon phase, or you aren't being honest with yourself. So don't make any big decisions with that person until you can. If we compliment you, take the compliment and don't say anything like, "No, I'm ugly. No, I'm fat." We're complimenting you for a reason and it's not because we have to. It also comes off as really dismissive and can make anyone question why they would compliment in the first place. It also makes people second guess your compliments when you don't feel any compliment is sincere. We compliment you because we truly think what we say, and it makes us mad when you second guess it because we do mean it, and if you don't think it is sincere then keep that to yourself. I for one don't wanna have an argument on whether or not you are beautiful. If we say it then we mean it. If you like a guy, not even head over heels, just if you appreciate being around them, just tell them. We don't ever really get compliments like this, so we often hold on to the ones we get for months, even years. Tell your friends you love them and care about them. It might mean nothing to you, but it means the world to us. Sometimes men need space to relax and play video games with their buddies. It doesn't mean that they don't love you, but giving them some space is so important. If you see a dude you like, go for it. I hate the whole "only the man asks" because that's the masculine thing to do. Nothing is hotter than a strong butt woman who sees what she wants and takes it. Just call me Ron Swanson because powerful women are awesome to me. We enjoy a comfortable silence. Not every moment need be filled with meaningless talk. That may not be a general thing as silences can be awkward for some. Speaking for myself though, two people can enjoy one another's company in silence. Also, don't neglect the balls. Greater than sign. Also, don't neglect the balls, but handle them gently. Remember how Nicolas Cage handled the balls in The Rock? Like that. Except for the end part. Not like that. Be the one who engages intimately once in a while. What I'd give to have a girlfriend reach out and touch me without me doing anything prior means a lot to a guy. If you start seeing someone and they start contacting you way too much and want to see you every single day right off the bat, just move on. They probably have codependency issues. Had a friend who did this, and every time he would throw himself totally into the relationship, it would last a month. And then it was like the world have ended until he met someone else a week later and did the same shit. I stopped hanging out with him. This was me when I was younger, constantly needing someone else's approval. It led me into a pretty nasty rabbit hole. I barely came out of it. Now that I've been nearly 5 years without a relationship, I'd say I've developed a sense of self, a bit of emotional maturity, and independence. Though I wonder if it's too late to meet others now that I've finished college. Either way, I probably won't go out of my way to find a relationship. Be friends. Like, besides the bedroom and looks and finances and help, both men and women can live with someone who is not a friend for reasons outlined above and other, but that'll end and you'll hate each other if you don't manage to become friends. This is my go-to relationship advice. I live by this advice. I don't even mean it in a "you have to be friends for a" but before you start dating way. I just mean you have to actually be friends with. So I see so many couples that are together, get all lovey-dovey with each other, but when I stand back and study them for a bit I'm like, why are they together? They don't even seem like friends. It's kind of a hard concept to put into words, but it always worked for me, I guess. Make yourself feel sexy, loved, and wanted. If you consistently reject his advances or never make any of your own, it can seriously harm his self-confidence. I'm not saying to always have sex every time he wants, but make an effort to accept his advances some of the time. Don't schedule sex either. It will feel like pity sex as well. Men get almost no positive attention outside of their so please give it to them. They deserve it. Give them compliments and constantly flirt with them. They will absolutely love you for it. If you're a woman who's interested in a guy and you know he's single, don't be afraid to ask him out. Men worth your time respect the hell out of women who work up the nerve to ask them out. They won't ever be offended or disgusted with you. They might even find you more attractive if you make the first move. They won't ever be offended if disgusted with you. Go say that to my middle school crush. I don't disagree overall. Strive to take a chance. You can learn to survive it, and if the guys and but it says more about them and their ability to empathize than you, etc. But don't assume all women are of the category where they can make audiences and single guys are never offended or disgusted by them. The best advice I can give is don't be friends with an ex or someone you rejected. You're absolutely not doing them a favor, you're not letting them down easy. You're dangling a dream in front of someone who will never get it. Cut contact and leave. You're turning a broken heart into a festering one. Also, if someone is threatening self-harm, which I hear a lot of girls experience, if you cut contact, tell someone, your friends, your parents, their parents, authorities, anyone. This is a very disgusting way of manipulation, and it can really mess you up. Talk about it and get help. Why do people love dogs? Seriously, why? They don't do much. They don't work. They don't do our taxes. They poop and don't even clean up after themselves. The only thing dogs do is provide affection. That's the answer. The secret to winning affection is to give it. All men want, all people want, is to be wanted. Do what dogs do and be excited. Be happy to be near us. And we will race around the earth to steal you the sun. Be upfront when you like us. My oblivious but doesn't understand being nice from flirting. Just talk to us. Be there for us. Except that when we are thinking about nothing. Sometimes we really are thinking about nothing. We like cuddles. Head scratches and massages too. Be direct. Many men don't get the attention from women that women get from men. We are expected to give flowers, arrange a date, initiate romantic evenings, etc. Maybe not the flowers, but how about taking him out to dinner? Or a surprise date, doing something he likes. Plan a romantic evening that centers on him instead of you. In other words, let us know you like us with more than just words. I'm a woman, but if you have an issue with him just ducking, tell him. Stop dancing around and expecting him to know. He probably doesn't even know he pissed you off. He's not a mind reader. The sooner you actually speak up, then the sooner the issue is resolved. I see this in relationships around me all the time, and communication is such a basic, trivial aspect that so few people seem to make an attempt at. Also, like, be a bro and hug him. Guys tend to be starved of physical intimacy, This goes for everyone. Get past the idea of a relationship and understand the reality of it. We are inundated with the idea of a relationship. From books, television, even other people. I have news for you. That perfect couple, where everything seems to be going right. They aren't telling you about all the problems. We go into relationships thinking about all of the ideal partnerships and are disappointed when the reality of our relationships do not measure up. The idea is a fantasy. It doesn't exist. The sooner that people understand that, the more they can objectively measure whether they are happy in the relationship they are in, because they begin to temper their expectations against the real instead of the fantasy. Good communication and independence bring something to the table. We should push each other to be better versions of ourselves together. If not, we aren't right for each other. If there is a big issue you're having arguments about with your partner, it sometimes helps to give it a rest and come back to it later. I guarantee that in that time both will continue to think and come to terms with what's been said, so that upon restarting it'll go much better. It's just not nice to constantly clash over the same thing, non-stop. And just because it's not actively talked about doesn't mean we don't know it's there. There is no need to constantly bring it up and bash it in. Kindness and good personal hygiene go a long way toward making a relationship work. Also, men are tested enough in their lives by family, employers, schools, other guys, and society in general. Don't add to this by conducting tests of your own. There's nothing worse than coming home to a test after a long day at work. When we say that we don't care about something, like what color to paint the living room, what it means is that the outcome of the decision matters less than your happiness about the outcome of the decision. I've been practicing saying I'm not concerned or I'm not worried about it instead of I don't care to help mitigate this problem. I don't care too often gets misinterpreted as I'm not compassionate or my feelings don't matter. Apostrophe. A similar language trick is to replace I'm sorry with either I apologize or I sympathize, since the word sorry can mean either depending on context and will often be mistaken for the other meaning that you didn't intend. Close bracket. I liked Bill Burr's advice. The best moment he had was when his GF made him a sandwich and gave him a beer, said nothing, and walked away. My wife came upstairs, handed me a cold beer, gave me a kiss, and walked back down. It was the best. After I finished it, I immediately went down and spent a good 2 hours watching Housewives with her lol. I do this all the time. It's my favorite thing to do. If I'm baking cookies, I'll plate a couple of fresh ones just from the oven, pour a cup of coffee and just go put it on his desk while he's playing computer games. I don't say anything, or I'll peek in to see if he has a drink. If not, I'll pour him a drink and take it in. I just like taking care of him, but he does similar things for me too. Just existing nearby is good enough for some people. Cough cough. Sitting at the other side of the room reading a book or something can be good enough. Don't need to sit in my lap and ramble on for 4 hours, though I would not be opposed to it. It seems fairly common for women, men also guilty, of trying to worm their way into a guy's life as a strategy to move things forward. Most guys seem to strongly dislike this. It can be very manipulative and can seem to indicate we'll lose a lot of freedom if we move forward. See also, being very entitled to his time, especially if you just want us to be present while you watch TV. Bonus negative points for being on your phone while you want us around. Close bracket. The more you can keep yourself content without our effort and time, the more attractive the relationship is. Understand that you also have to earn our trust. In all of my relationships there's so much emphasis on the guy earning trust from the girl, which is completely valid. But there's little understanding that it goes both ways. I also have had bad experiences that close me off, and you shouldn't take it personally. Men also appreciate little displays of affection, like flowers, or a coffee, or something simple like that. More sarcastically, say when you want something from the takeout! Exclamation mark. I hate when people eat my food XD. When you ask us what we're thinking, and we say nothing, it really is nothing. Literally elevator music. We have been watching the same show/movie for the same amount of time as you have. We don't know more than you do. If asked a straight question, give a straight answer. Are you hungry? Y/N. Do you want to get dinner? Y/N. What would you like to eat? If you don't know, ask what are my options? Instead of I don't know. If you tell him you pick, don't complain about his choice. Guys, the same goes for you. If you give the decision, you have waived your vote. Try not to pick places they hate cause you like them. Bonus points if you choose a place they love and you do not. Best bet is pick a place you both like. We are thick, so we don't understand your obvious signals one bit. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.